Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Lori Time Podcast. Once again, I'm your humble host, joined by my co-host.
Your boy, Zach.
Zach is once again beating the controls away from me and is now in the captain's seat, talking about another horror classic.
Another horror not about a sad man.
No.
About a sad girl this time. We decided to really switch it up, make sure everyone was represented in our
always.
sphere of sadness. No, if I'm going to talk about the sequel to something we talked about earlier, we're talking about Aliens today.
Yeah, we're finally doing sequels to our episodes.
I know, that we keep promising.
I know. So, from my understanding, so Aliens, I was talking to Ashlyn today, and I was like, oh, we're going to do Aliens. And she was like, we already did that. You guys already did that one. And I was like, no, what they did is Alien is the first one.
Aliens is the second
one. They pluralized it for us.
It's kind of clever.
It kind of is, yeah.
Because in the first one, there literally was
an alien.
In this one, there's a shit ton.
Son of a bitch.
They're everywhere. Oh, God. This one is also...
Is this the one that's better? Is this better than the other? Is this better?
They're different movies. Because the first one is very much a horror movie. It's a slasher movie in space. Mm-hmm. This one is an action movie that has like horror elements in it.
Interesting. Okay.
This one was taken over by James Cameron, directed this movie. And he was known for Terminator.
He did Judgment Day before.
No, I think he had only done Terminator 1 at this point.
Oh, he did 1?
Yeah.
Oh, that shows how much I know.
Yeah, no. So he did Terminator 1, and then so we got this film. This film came out in 1986. Okay. The original movie came out in 1979, so there was quite a big
window between.
Yeah, they initially the studio didn't really want to green light, even though the first one was a big success. They were like, do we really want another one?
Keep it going, yeah. And I think that's a nice my take.
Yeah, no, it's good actually.
Yeah, no, I really think we have delved into too much of it all has to connect, it all has to be X, Y, and Z, when in reality, some stories just are good on their own.
No, I very much agree with that. And honestly, I'm going to go into it towards the end, but I believe the Alien franchise should have ended here.
Oh, okay.
This movie was very well received. It has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 94% user score.
Which is...
That is very good.
Unheard of, yeah. Outside of the major part of Lord of the Rings is one and a couple others.
No, exactly. So the fact it has not only critical but just the fan support of it. And this, like I said, this movie too, gave us so many tropes. Mm-hmm. Gave us Space Marines.
Oh yeah.
Which this is where Space Marines comes from.
Okay.
So if we were talking about StarCraft earlier today, so many of the lines in StarCraft are straight from this movie. They're straight ripped off.
Okay.
Well, not ripped off, but it's like an homage to the Space Marines. A lot of the units, the fact they're even called Space Marines, a lot of the unit dialogue when they move is from Aliens.
Okay.
If you use this is real specific, but if you ever use the dropships in StarCraft, the pilot says "in the pipe 5x5." Okay. Which is a direct line from the dropship captain in Aliens.
Oh, shit.
Says, we're in the pipe, 5x5. Okay. Don't even know what that means. But it's ingrained in my brain.
It sounds like military speak to us.
No, it does.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, no, the first time I ever watched Aliens, I was like, oh, it's from StarCraft.
Yes, if anybody does not know, Zach is apparently the biggest, PC...
I love StarCraft.
Gamer I never knew we were going to experience. I was like, wow, you're really just in it for this.
Oh no, we went to a store today and Daniel got to see I was in heaven. I was frolicking among the PC cases. But no, it was a great movie, and it even influenced a lot of things like but Warhammer 40K.
What hasn't Warhammer 40K used from any?
Well, I mean, StarCraft was originally supposed to be a 40K game, and then they pulled the light. And that's a whole different...
That's a Lori time of its own.
Oh, it is a Lori time of 40K making a very bad decision in the short run. No, so it's a great movie. Ironically, when it came out, because it's gotten really good reviews over the years, but ironically, one of the things people bagged it for is that it was too violent.
But an alien puncturing your face with its tongue as a metaphor.
It's a metaphor for sex.
Whoa, we're too far gone here.
Yeah, no, so actually there were some people who, I mean, yeah, back in the day, like, some people kind of, they didn't like the fact it moved to an action movie and away from just the horror.
The spookiness of it.
Yeah, because they do take away, because in this one they can't actually, like, kill them and they can fight, because they have guns, they have
a gun, yeah.
Because that was part of the horror in the first one, is that it was just these people, these miners who got stuck with this thing and they're not equipped
to fight it.
Now we are. And now we're equipped. So we're going to go over it, but everyone gather around your freezing capsule.
Oh boy!
Which again, I don't know if originated in this, but
cryogenic,
cryogenic suspension. Which quick recap of the first.
Give us tell us people what they missed if they haven't seen the first episode.
Watch the first episode, but it's basically this mining group is sent to this planet by
evil corporate.
It's like called Whaley-Yutani Corporation. Yeah. They're sent there on these orders to investigate this planet. They said there's a life beacon. They find an alien ship. Aboard the alien ship are the titular aliens. The alien infects a crew member. It kills everyone. The only person to get away is Ellen Ripley, who is played by the great Sigourney Weaver. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the movie, it is only her left. She saved the ship cat Jonesy.
The one where everybody was really pulling for was
the cat. And so she goes into cryogenic sleep at the very end of the movie. She sends out a distress signal and hopes that they're going to be picked up in a couple weeks by a ship that's going to take care of them and deposit them off. So the first movie, or Aliens, literally picks up right where the first movie ends.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it
literally shows the shot is the ship floating in space. Mm-hmm. And I love the shots of space in older science fiction movies because they use the real background.
It's a dude with a string.
Yeah, it's slowly dragging. It's like the shot in Star Wars, like the big shots. And so it shows the ship coming in. You get a shot of the inside of the ship. And everything is kind of crystallized on the inside. Uh-huh. It's kind of got this nice, frosty...
the classic frost, when they wipe it off and then, oh my god, it's my clothes.
No, exactly. And great music in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit more bombastic than the first, but it retains a lot of the slower, kind of growing shots. So it shows the pod. It's being picked up by a larger vessel. And a robot arm, opens up the door. It welds it open. Okay. And then this cool scanner comes in, this robot scanner to scan the room. And they use a laser effect, but it looks really cool because they scan. And some scavengers come in. They look around. They kind of wipe off the thing on the pod. They realize, oh, she's alive. We have to take her back. Yeah. And it cuts back to this space station that is above Earth. And Ripley is now in the hospital, essentially, and she's recovering. She's still a little groggy.
It's been an ordeal.
It's been not great,
The literal devil fighting, trying to hunt you down and kill you.
Exactly, and she gets this visitor from a man named Burke, and he's like, "Hey, I'm from the company. They sent me just to kind of talk to you, to kind of go over
what happened.
Yeah, what happened out there?"
Wow.
And he goes, "Listen, I know you're groggy, and that can happen when you've been suspended for so long."
Yeah.
And she's like, "How long was I
in
out?"
Space?
And he's like, "Oh, no one's talked to you about this?" She's like, "No." And he's like, "It's been 57 years."
Has it really?
Yeah. There's a 57-year jump before the first movie.
Oh, shit.
To the second. Okay. So she's been floating in space for 57 years.
Shout out to that cryogenic suspension company. They really did their...
No, and she doesn't take... She's like, what? Yeah. I've been floating for 57 years. It's great. And right when she starts talking, her chest starts to
Oh, no.
Oh, and the chest buster starts coming out. Only to realize this is a dream.
Oh, okay.
From the very first, she starts going, the doctors rush in, and you start getting the great special effects of it coming out, and she wakes up, and you find out that she has severe PTSD.
Oh yeah, as you would.
Oh, you fought the devil. And so every night she just has these crippling
nightmares.
Oh, you would, and you would too.
Yeah,
you saw some things.
Yeah, you saw some fucked up shit.
Oh, you did. So it shows her. It's actually kind of interesting because she's like in the space station and she's in like the synthetic park. So it's just a big screen, and there's like they have like fake plants, and she's just in like, what are we doing?
Ready to scream at the sun. Yeah.
So Burke comes back. And he goes, "Hey, we're getting ready to go into your deposition because they're going to go over because she blew up, the spacecraft, hundreds of millions of dollars just.
Oh yeah, no.
They want to know.
Well, they waited 57 years, huh?
Oh, they're gonna get it, and she goes, "That's great and all, but do you have any information on my daughter?" Because she had a daughter that was waiting on Earth this whole time, and if it's been 57 years. And
an old person at this point, I would say.
And he's like, "Hey, like I was hoping to tell you this after the deposition, but I looked up your daughter. She was 66. She passed away 2 years ago. Oh, she didn't have any kids. She got old and died. She just died of natural causes." And it was just kind of like a wild. So Ripley's like really crushed because she's like, "I told her I would be home for her 11th birthday.
You missed a few.
And she's 66, and
that's tough.
It's really tough. And side note, I believe Alien Isolation, the video game, is about Ripley's daughter looking for her.
Yes.
So that is kind of that's a different.
And then she finds aliens and.
She does. Again, the timeline gets wonky, but
as all video games make.
It does, but it's actually interesting because call me CinemaSins because on the death certificate he holds up, there's a date, and she died on 12/30/2020. So we are officially 4 years past the great future, which we will never have.
Oh, now I'm sad.
I know.
Nah,
they had such great hopes for us.
Oh, they really, they thought we had flying cars.
Oh, no. We thought we'd have cryogenic sleep lasting for decades, but no.
We thought we were going to be Star Trek, but we find peace amongst...
Absolutely not.
amongst ourselves.
So they cut to the deposition, and they're, grilling her, and they're like, so, why'd you... she's like, so you say this happened. We looked all over your escape pod... There was no signs of an alien. She's like, I pushed it out the airlock. There shouldn't be any signs of it.
I hope not.
And they're like, listen, you're saying there's never been any mention of this creature. No one's ever found it in 200 years. We've been out here colonizing the planets. Mm-hmm. And you blow this up. Likely story.
Yeah. Oh, looks like we own you now.
Oh, there. Because if you remember, the company was the one
pushing for one of the aliens.
Yeah, exactly. They knew something. So now it's kind of like...
It's plausible deniability. Oh, she's our scapegoat.
Exactly. And the planet is called LV-426. And they're like... So they just keep calling it Reasons Unknown. And she's like, it's not Reasons Unknown. I've told you what it is. And then one of the persons...
Where'd everybody else go I was with?
Exactly. And she's reading it. So the person's like, so let me get this straight. It's got acid for blood. And it attaches to your face and lays an egg. And she's like, yes! That's exactly what it does. And they're like, oh, you're... So they go, listen, we're going to suspend your flight license.
Okay.
We're taking it away. We're not going to bring criminal charges at this time.
She was a pilot?
Yes.
She was the pilot for the crew.
So she was a major commercial pilot.
Okay.
And they're like, so we're going to suspend your flight license. We're going to not press criminal charges at this time, but you're going to be required to go to psychiatric evaluations for 6 months. Yeah. Then you're going to have to, do they're basically
we own you for the rest of your life now.
Yeah.
Shout out to them though for waiting 57, that fact that her pilot license never
expired
for 57 years.
I wonder if it froze with her because the experience doesn't change. So she asked because they're like, listen, we would have we even have people on the planet, and she's like, there have been people on the planet. He's like, yeah, for the last 20 years, there's been a colony on there, and they've been terraforming the planet. He goes, they never had any complaints.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like, we would have...
Fuck.
Which, to be fair, it's a literal planet.
Yeah.
So...
It is one of those things where, because of how... for example, just to talk about Warhammer, right?
Yeah.
We talk about, why they make the decision to nuke planets, and we joke about that. But you really think about the amount of resources that you would lose by nuking the planet. And like,
it's not worth it.
Yeah, these people are worshipping the devil.
The devil, yeah.
Fuck. Like, and like just the amount of people who live on the planet as a whole. Like, wow. That's billions of lives.
Billions of lives. And she,
space.
And she asked, too, she's like, how many people are in this colony? Yeah. He's like 60 to 70, like, families are out there. And these are like their terraform. He goes, we call them shake and bake colonies. They go out there. This is where the company is like kind of investing. Their slogan is like, what is it? Building better planets or something like that. They have a good evil company like slogan.
Yeah, where they're gonna kick out the natives. And take everything they own.
They cut to the colony itself. It's called Hadley's Hope, which is a great name. And it's this group of people, and they're just out here fighting the devil. They show this guy. He
looks miserable.
He's got like, because the planet is just this miserable storm typhoon, and they have like this big thing that's terraforming it, so they can go outside normally, but they're working. People are running everywhere.
It's not fun. It's a frontier world.
It's a frontier world, and they show this like the main guy has like 5 cups of coffee, and he sticks his finger in, like to find the hot one, which is like, but that's a really good scene to like communicate
how busy
they're busy. Yeah. He's just like, okay, this is it.
This is potable.
This is portable. So he's like complaining, and he's like, "Hey, we have this message from a survey team that got sent out.
Oh no!"
And they're wondering if they're gonna get like full rights to what's ever out there. He's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "But like they don't know if the company could come in and claim anything because they technically got a message from the company asking them to send a survey team out to a specific location." And he's like, listen. He's like, it takes a week for me to ask because it gets out there. Yeah. Then it takes a week to get back for them to say, don't ask. Just tell them that I said,
fuck it.
Whatever they find.
If you're there, open it up, whatever.
No, exactly. And it's like, and they show that there are kids like running around and like, they're like, get out of here. And so it cuts to the survey team. It's a mom and a dad and 2 kids. And well, because it's a mom and pop thing, because it's a frontier thing, so it's these families that have come out there, and that's like their job is they just drive around and they survey.
Well, then what about the
areas?
Well, they've been around long enough, I guess. It's not going to end well for them.
No, and like the kids are arguing. Like the mom's like, you guys keep going in the air ducts. I keep telling you not to go in the air ducts. Like it's this big thing. So
there's gonna be an alien in an air duct. Huh?
Oh, they're always in the air ducts.
Oh shit.
So they're driving, and the dad sees the alien ship, and he's like, "Hell yeah!" Like we found a big like.
I don't know, man. I know we've watched enough of. I know.
Not to go in. Yeah, we know.
You would think like I don't know what this is.
No, well that's what he says. They're like, "Do you want us to call it in?" He's like, "No, I want to know, kind of like get like a close up view before we call it in because I want our share of." Whatever this is to make sure. So he parks the car and they just tell the kids to wait in the car. We're like, we're just gonna walk in for a second. We're going into the grocery store.
And then that split second, bad things are gonna happen.
So the little girl and the little boy are in there, and the little girl wakes up and like they've been gone for a long time. He's like, no, it's okay. Like dad knows what he's doing. And then you get this great. It's not even like a major jump scare where the mom rips open the car door and grabs the radio and starts calling for help. And it pans over to the dad who has a face hugger.
God damn it.
Because it's the same shit from the first movie. Yeah. So he has a face hugger. And then it cuts to the little girl just screaming as her mom's yelling into it's a great like.
Oh, it's a good horror scene.
Oh, it's a great horror scene.
You fucking morons.
It's so good. And it cuts back to Ripley. She's in this really shitty like apartment. She's still she wakes up to constant nightmares. She's sweating. And she gets a knock on the door, and it's Burke from the company, and he's brought a colonel with him from the Marines.
Okay.
And because literally she opens the door, sees at him, and just slams it in his face.
She's like, no, fuck you. You've ruined my life.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, he has. So she slams. He's like, hey, listen, I'm sorry. He's like, listen, we've lost contact with the colony out there.
Oh.
He's like, could you just talk to us for a second? So she lets him in, and he's like, well, she's kind of like, you more like I told you. And he's like, listen, we've lost contact. We don't know why, but we're taking what you've said into account. We're going to send a division of Space Marines out there to, they call them like Colonial Marines.
Yeah,
to go Colonial Marines. Yeah. We're sending a division out there. We want them to check it out.
Figure out what the fuck
is going on. And he's like, and we want you to come on as an advisor. Just, you don't have to go, you're not going to fight. You're not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to go out. You're just going to give what you know just in case. And she's like, no, fuck you. She's like, no, I'm not doing any of this. And he starts kind of running, like, he starts running and he's like, hey, I heard you got a job out on the docks, huh? Running forklifts. He was like, there's nothing wrong with that. I know that's the only job you can get now.
Yeah.
But, you know, just...
He's like, God damn it.
No, because he's like, you know, I could get you your license back. Your pilot license.
She's like, fuck. Okay.
And she's like, no, like, fuck you. She's like, I've already had my psychiatric exam. You don't need to, like... He's like, yeah, no, I read it. He goes, you wake up all the time screaming. Don't you feel like you need to confront your fears? And she's just like...
No, I don't want to do this anymore. Let me smoke pot or something.
Exactly.
Just let me be done with it.
So she kicks him out.
Yeah.
But he leaves his card right before.
Oh,
He's like, think about it.
It scratches the back of, like, you know what I mean? The back of her brain. And she's like, fuck, okay, I can get this over with.
Exactly. So that night she has another nightmare. And she's soaked in sweat.
Yeah.
And she's like, maybe I really just need to, like, I got to do something. Like, I'm either going to be here or I got to, like, kind of confront a fear. So it's like the middle of the night. It's kind of cool because the card, so like the business card, it plugs into a phone and it automatically calls someone.
That's cool.
It's actually a really nifty idea.
That is a really cool
because it has like a chip in it like we have for our, but you just plug it in and it
will automatically call. That's cool.
I'm like, that's actually, we should do something. That's kind of cool.
Call Windows or
Microsoft and get on this idea. So she calls him and she's like, hey, you got to promise me that you're not going out there to bring any of them back. We're destroying them. That's it.
And of course, evil corporation, man. Like, of course we
No, he goes, you have my word that that's all we're doing.
Really fast, I was curious about this. Why they're always Marines when they're doing these things. So I looked up the United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And apparently they are a service branch of the United States Armed Forces responsible for conducting expeditionary operations.
Exactly.
Which is why the Marines... Because I've always kind of wondered that, right? You, like... start like watching it every time there's like a new we're pushing the frontier. It's like we're the Marines, and I'm like, okay, like that's interesting. Why are we
that's
all
why
Marines? But yeah, they're the expeditionary forces.
They're the expeditionary
for
force.
Us.
No, and it's such a fun idea, right? You're like Space Marines. That sounds great.
Boy, and then we changed that to
we did. It got aggressive, and so we get a shot of the ship that they're traveling to the planet on.
Yeah.
And again, we get very similar shots to the very first movie when they show the quiet. It's the same music. It's the same. It's a very cool callback to the first film.
Yeah.
Which was done by Ridley Scott, by the way. I didn't mention that. But the first film was Ridley Scott. The second was James Cameron. Kind of a banger back-to-back.
Yeah. Do we know why Ridley... Because I know Ridley's notorious for like... Oh, you don't like my shit because you don't understand art. Because that's how it was with that last Duel movie he did.
Yeah.
Because people didn't go out to see it. And he's like, these morons don't understand art.
No, I think it was...
Marvel movies.
I don't think it was like that. I think he was just like working on something else. And so it's another great shot. They unthaw from the sleep like they did in the first movie. They all come out. And we're introduced to the Marines.
And they are I think this is where the gung-ho-ness comes from.
Oh, they are all... I'll go over... They're all a great cast of characters. But you have, like, the main ones. So you have Hudson, who is... Very famous line in this movie is, game over, man! Yeah. Game over! He constantly says, oh, man. There's Vasquez, who is this very buff Mexican woman. Whoa. And then there is Hicks, who is just kind of like your white, like normal, like Marine, just like normal guy.
Shaved head, like the whole...
Exactly. Yeah. You have the lieutenant who came to her. This is his real first like combat mission. Then you have the Sarge, who is literally, if you have played Halo, you know, Sergeant Johnson, just the black guy with the cigar.
Giant cigar.
The first thing that happens is he gets unthawed and he puts the cigar in his mouth. He goes, all right, let's... It's literally it's the first thing he does. He just puts this before he even gets out of the pod. That's he's got the big old mustache. That's
the classic sergeant.
Like a lot of those tropes of like comes from this.
Yeah.
And they're all running around and they're all just like, who's the fresh meat? You know, like they're all like
yelling hoorah.
Hoorah, like, oh, we got the alien pussy. Like we're just they're literally talking about how they were like fucking like aliens and like they're just running around. You know, like it's just fun banner shit.
Oh yeah. It's peak action movie, like, ugh,
it is.
testosterone.
And Vasquez, so she's like a heavy gunner. She has like this big like turret, and it's really cool because it like hooks up to her vest because it like takes some of the weight off because it has a big arm.
Yeah.
But across it says "adios" across it. Yeah, it's a very like.
Oh, it's very like that grimy cyberpunky like marine.
Yeah. Oh, very. The first thing she does when they get out, she starts doing pull-ups. And they're just like,
we're Marines.
Hoorah!
We had a bowl of nails for breakfast.
Bowl of nails. And while they're there, they're also introduced to Bishop. And Bishop is a android. Or is he corrects because Burke's there because he's going as like the company guy.
Yeah.
And Bishop goes, I prefer synthetic person. And Burke like, oh, synthetic person. He literally goes, and synthetic person. It's really funny.
Just to recap, everybody, an android is a human fully robotic that is designed to look human. Cyborgs are humans with cybernetic augmentations to allow us to continue functioning.
Correct.
Like Cyborg from Teen Titans.
Exactly. And Ripley does not like the fact that there's an android.
Oh, yeah, the last one...
Tried to kill her.
Yeah, tried to kill her. It really succeeded in killing all of them.
Oh, it did. No, it was basically its fault.
Yeah. No,
and
fuck that guy.
So she's like, whoa, you just keep away from me. It comes off as a little racist, but he's a robot. I don't know. And because she's like, I don't know if he's just programmed by the company. And he's like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, you know, because he's like really nice. He's like, listen, like those older models, like I can't hurt people. But, you know, again, it's like,
it goes against my prime directive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And the lieutenant, the other Marines are making fun of the lieutenant because he's very tight. He's very away from, like, he's eating by himself.
He's a fucking android.
Well, no, excuse me.
Burke is.
Burke. So Burke is from the company. Yeah. Bishop is the android.
Yeah.
And then the lieutenant leading the mission is being, like, they're all making fun of him, like the other Marines. Because they're like, oh, this is his first.
Oh, okay.
He's really tight.
Somebody's getting made fun.
Somebody's getting... So they pulled everyone together and they're giving them the mission overview. Yeah. And this is the first time they call them xenomorphs, which they've given a term because they asked like, is this like what are we doing? Is this they call it a bug hunt? Are we just like killing things? So Ripley starts like explaining it. They're like giving her blank stares. They're like, listen, you just need to tell us where it is and we'll go and kill it.
Can't protect the first without the second.
And there's a great line where. He's like, Vasquez, it was, so Hudson, he goes, Vasquez heard alien and thought it was illegal alien, and she signed right up. And she's like, fuck you. And I'm like, wow, even in the far future, we're still out here
talking. Making illegal immigrant jokes, huh? Never dies.
Never dies. And so Ripley is like, you guys aren't taking this, like, seriously. Like, she's like, you don't understand. Like, these things are psychos.
Because they're, I guess, without... I mean, it's not really spoiled. I don't know how much they go into the history because they're biological weapons, right?
Yeah. So at this point,
we don't know.
You don't know if. So later on in the lore,
I'm sorry, I don't know if I have the rest of the
No. Later on in the lore, you find out that they were created to specifically design as biological weapons.
Yeah.
They were like the orcs in 40K. They would be dropped on a population. They breed and then they just
kill everything.
They kill everything
and breed some more.
And just keep going. Yeah. And that was their reason. That's not really brought up. We don't really learn any about of that in this. But they talk. So they load all the guns. They get everything ready to go.
Oh, it's America with the Beautiful is playing in the background.
Hoorah! We're getting ready to drop this out. Then they have, so Ripley's like, I feel like, you know, I'm not doing anything, I'm helping. And then the sergeant's like, what can you do? She's like, well, I can drive this forklift. So the forklifts are like these big things you like get in.
Yeah, they're like the bionic, not the bionic, but they're almost like a carapace kind of thing.
Yeah, like, so she like helps them load. She's like, see, like, no, like I'm helping in my own way to like get this done.
Watch me move these boxes.
No, and they're like laughing. They're like, yeah, exactly. So they all go in like this tank thing that goes into the dropship.
Yeah.
And they all load up. They drop down from their main ship and they're heading down towards the planet. And they have a great conversation here because the lieutenant is like freaking out because he's dropping. And she's like, how many combat drops have you been on? He's like, 38 simulated.
Oh, shit.
And she's like, how many combat? He's like, 2, including this one.
Oh, fuck.
And the rest of the Marines kind of look at him like, oh, fuck, he's in charge of this.
Yeah, the classic, the officer's a moron.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just like falling down. And that's when you get the classic, like I said, in the 5x5. And you get this because she's like concerned. And so Hudson gives another classic speech he gives in this movie. Where he's like, "Don't worry, man, we got," and he just starts listing off we got nukes, we got missiles, we got machine guns, we got flamethrowers. And my favorite one, he goes, "We got sharp sticks, we got ball busters, we got everything. We're gonna kill it like
we got sharp sticks. When in doubt, baby."
And when they're dropping down, Hicks like falls asleep because it's just like this is routine shit.
Yeah.
So the ship lands on the planet. The tank dismounts. They drive towards the building, and they see at the middle is the giant like terraforming station, the big reactor. And then so they drive in, and they do a great job because it's so atmospheric, because it's dark, it's constantly stormy.
Yeah, it's a horror story.
It's a horror story. Everything is deserted. Everything's crushed. So the Marines pile out, and they go into 2 squads. Each one has like a main gunner. Each one has a person with like a scanner, and they're teamed with the gunner. To like and then
the classic.
Then you have the normal like Marine dudes.
You never split the party though. That's
they are.
You never do.
And they all have cameras on their helmets, which is feeding into a big screen that the lieutenant's looking at, and he's giving it's like XCOM.
Yeah.
And he's telling them, so he's giving them like formation, like you go here, go there. And they're searching over the base, and the base is completely abandoned.
Yeah, everything. Does it look like murder has happened?
It looks like fighting was going on, but there's no people. There's not a soul around, but you can tell they tried to barricade things. Things got in. They find acid holes on the ground, and she's like, "See?" And he's like,
"It's hard being right all the time."
And he's like, "Hey, if you like that, look at this." And they show like the ceiling, and the ceiling is just all like melted in, like they came through. So, but there's nobody. There's not anything on the scanners. There's no one around. And they eventually say, "Okay, you guys can come in. We're gonna go into the main station, talk to look at the computer, see what happened."
Yeah.
And they see that they barricaded themselves in the main building.
I don't know how well we go into the lore of like how they survive and stuff, because that's always been kind of the mystery, right? But I'm like, why would you? Well, like it seems like they need us to function, right? What if we just left and starve them out?
Starve them out. So they really don't like eat. That's the problem. They kind of like
live.
They live once they're they can reproduce in any living thing.
Yeah.
They just but what they reproduce in looks the most like. So that's why the regular xenomorphs looks humanish. In the third movie, which I'll talk about at the end of this because I do not like it, looks like a dog because it's made with a dog.
Yeah.
So so they different. But I think once they're actually made, they need so little actual like nutrients. I think I'm gonna say something because I think they get like through the air
photos,
like photosynthesis because they're made to just survive because they barely need any food. They like don't drink. They can survive in space by themselves because they don't like breathe. They're like, this weird thing.
They're bioweapons.
Exactly. And while they're looking through this kind of medical sector, they find all these like jars that have face huggers in them. And 2 of them are alive. And you get the great thing where they're looking at the...
hit the
wall. It does. And it's got like... Oh, you kind of see how they work.
Was it proboscis?
Yeah, they stick out there like... Because, the thing that goes down your throat. Oh, they're gross.
Yeah. No, they are very spooky, characters.
They are.
Like creations.
Because they're like... It's all the fears, right? It's creepy crawly bugs. It gets on your face.
Penetrates you.
It knocks you out. It chokes you. It does like...
It's not fun.
No, and they read the reason this one is alive is because when they took it off, they killed the guy they took it off of.
I'm assuming it's going to be the dad.
It was probably the dad they took it off because that's its thing is you try to take it off, it strangles. They wanted to get a live one, so they killed the person. So they start picking up something else on the scanner. And they're kind of going, they're looking, they shoot, but then they realize at the last second it's a little girl.
Oh, is this what's her name? Newt?
Yes, it's Newt. It's Newt, and
they call her Newt. Wait, is her name really Newt?
No, it's not.
Okay,
that's like a nickname.
Oh, okay.
Her real name is Rebecca.
Oh.
It's the little girl from the beginning of the film
who was severely traumatized.
Oh, she has a 1,000-yard stare. So she's like running because she's hiding in the air ducts. It's a callback. So they try to like grab her. They can't. Ripley goes in because she's like, okay, I can kind of like. She crawls through the duct. She finds where the girl's been staying in like this enclosed.
She's
room.
like living in there like a rat king.
And she knows she is, so she's able to like kind of pull her out. And this girl is not talking.
No, yeah,
she's just kind of looking around like, oh, I've seen some things. And then, fuck the lieutenant, because the lieutenant's like, you need to like
question this.
Little. She's like, do you remember anything?
Hang
Who's
her
alive?
by her feet.
Exactly. Take her shoes. Get her. And what they're searching for is these things called PDTs, which have been put in all of the colonists. It's a way for people to track them in case they go missing. Oh. So they're looking for the. Yeah. So they're looking for that. Ripley is trying to talk to this little girl. That's where she talks about she's Rebecca. Nobody calls her that though. Her name is. Everyone calls her Newt as like a nickname.
Yeah.
And she has this great little kid horror movie line because she's like, listen, these people are here to protect us. They're soldiers. They have guns. It's okay. And the little girl goes, it won't make a difference. Oh, it's a great, oh, you can't stop them.
Get bigger guns, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. So Bishop, the android, is studying the facehuggers, and he's making very similar lines. Oh, the exact same things that the android in the first movie was saying. Yeah. So you're going, he's
gonna behoove us.
He's like, oh, it's beautiful. It's you know. And they find that all of the people, all of their trackers are in one spot. They're all by the reactor core of the main building, of the main terraforming station.
Oh no!
So like, all right, we'll go down there. So it's 3 lines, and the way they do this scene is so cool because you see it kind of from their perspective, and then you see it from the camera.
Okay.
So
it's so that's what they got in Halo.
The flood, exactly.
Yeah, because in the way they find out about the flood is through the head cameras.
So it's a direct callback from Alien because even Sergeant Johnson's down there, and they do like the same shit, the same lines. They're going down because it's at level 3, which is at the lowest portion. So they're going down. Burke, the company guy, Ripley, Newt, and the lieutenant. They're all staying in the tank so they can supervise.
Yeah.
The thing, he's giving orders to all the Marines who are in 2 squads going down.
Who are going to be violently murdered soon.
Oh! And so they're headed down there, and they're getting lower and lower. And it turns into H.R. Geiger land. Because everything, there's all this like secretion that is formed, so it looks all very biomechanical.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's kind of like, because they're talking to Hudson, he's like, Hudson, what is that? He goes, I don't know.
What the fuck you think I know?
Yeah, what are you thinking there? No. And the sergeant's like, don't touch shit. Just walking through. It's smart.
Honestly, the smartest line anybody in any of these past 2 fucking movies has said. Don't touch anything.
Don't touch anything. And Ripley's like, what kind of bullets do these guys have? And he kind of like tells you like they're kind of like exploding rounds that they go through armor. She's like, you do know that like we're by a reactor core, right?
You fucking idiot.
So if you start shooting down here,
it's gonna rip this stuff.
Like we could cause a reaction and we're all gonna get nuked.
To be fair, considering what the alternative is, it might not be the worst thing.
So the lieutenant, he's kind of sweating this because this is his first command thing. So he starts like, fuck, shit. He's like, so he makes a call, terrible call. He's like, listen, we can only use flamethrowers. Take out all of your clips out of your guns, pass them to one guy. You can't fire your, and the sergeant's like, I don't know. He's like, small weapon fire only, and use the flamethrowers. So they pull all their clips out. They give it to a shout out to Vasquez and the other heavy gunner. They like just pull another one out and put it in because they're like, fuck that. We're
we
don't know what this is. We're keeping the guns. So people are pulling out. Like Hicks has a shotgun. He pulls out. And they start moving down, and the farther they go down by the reactor, you notice that in the goo in the walls is people, and they're all stuck. Like they're all like stuck in the walls, and they're all. And if you notice, there's the open eggs from the first one everywhere.
Yeah, because that's what they do. They glue you to a wall, and then
they stick an egg in front of you, and then they wait for the and. They get closer, and one of the people comes like alive. And they're like, "Oh, we'll pull you out," and they're like, "No, kill me!" And then the like chest burster starts to come out. Oh, I feel like getting caught by aliens is one of the worst ways.
Yeah,
because they literally take you, and how they secrete it out of their mouths. They cocoon you to the wall,
Yeah, so they just like dribble all over
Dribble you. Then they put an egg down. The egg comes out. The facehugger gets on you, impregnates you, and then you're just there waiting. Because it takes a while.
Yeah, there's no good.
And they talk about it, but they like secrete the stuff that they give you to eat, so like you stay alive. Oh, I would never. You just want to die.
That's a peak. Shoot me
even now.
Then, because you can't. Because even if you're still alive, right? As long as you're still giving nutrients, that thing will still come out. So you have to like. I mean, flamethrowers really are like.
So they flamethrower this person, and they kill it
as God intended.
And it's Lieutenant Gorman, right? Is the person who's in charge. He quickly loses control of the situation because he's trying to keep his voice. He's like, okay, so you need to do this. And like, what? Because they start like they're flame, and all of a sudden the aliens start coming in. So they start firing. Vasquez is like, good thing I kept my ammo. So they're just like firing, and he's like, okay. So Gorman's like, okay, so you need to like back up. Suppressing fire with flamethrowers, you back up and get out. But they can't, like... The sergeant, like, you need to repeat it. And they do a good job, because Gorman is, like, sweating.
Looking like Robin Williams and Good Morning Vietnam. Just
drenched. She's like, no, you need to, like, you need to start... And so... But then the sergeant gets attacked. It goes through. And it's this great thing, because you see it through, like, the first... So it's, like, them yelling at each other and grabbing it. And you see, like, the flashes... And the shots, and they're
spooky.
Like, it's spooky. Oh, it's great. And they're dropping one by one. One gets hit. Well, the one with the flamethrower gets hit. He turns around, flamethrowers another Marine.
Oh, no.
And he flamethrowers the one that has the ammo. Oh. So it explodes. He goes flying. People, it's a great, like, it's super chaotic.
It's not good for them, but we're having fun.
No, so Ripley is like, she's like, you need to, like, do something.
Yeah.
And Gorman is like...
Not having a good day. No, this is a bad day.
This is a very bad day. This is us being told you got to find 34 cents. And he's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And so she like pushes him out of the way. She runs to the front of the tank and she starts driving it. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, runs back. He's like, you can't do that. And Burke pushes him out of the way. He's like, hey, you had your chance to like do something here. Let her like...
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah. So they drive, and they do a good job of showing, like, they're shooting the aliens, but the acid is, like, spraying back, and it's hitting people.
That's what I was like. It doesn't matter if they have guns, because it...
Oh, it's still, yeah. So they finally shoot. Ripley takes it, and she drives it through the wall of the reactor to give them a hole to get out of. So Vasquez, Hudson, and Hicks... They all get through. Mm-hmm. Drake, who is the other heavy gunner, right at the last second, shoots one. The acid sprays him right in the face. Oh, it's nasty. Yeah. And then, just as the door's shutting of the tank, like, one tries to, like, get through.
Stick its tail
like,
through.
Oh, it's like, no, it gets its hands, and it's, like, trying to open it, so they're pushing it closed.
No!
And it opens its mouth, so it's shooting out its other mouth, the inside one. So, they put the shotgun in its mouth, it shoots, but it hits them back with
the acid,
which is why it's really hard to kill them. So they're driving. So she's like driving. There's one on the roof trying to get in. She hits the brakes and then runs it over, and she pops out the door, out of the door, and she's just driving, right?
Oh yeah, she's flying through this bitch,
right? And Higgs, because he's like, hey, we can stop. Like, it's okay. You've busted the axle. We're just running on metal. You like it's okay. We can calm down. So they stop, and Hudson. And so, he's going, man, I don't know, what the fuck was that, man? What are we going to do, man?
Game over.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't done the game over yet.
Not yet, okay. I'm sorry, everybody.
No, he hasn't done it yet. So Gorman, during this whole thing, Lieutenant Gorman gets hit in the head and he gets knocked out. So he's just lying on the ground, just out. And Ripley,
this is going well. This is
going awful. Oh, this is a bad time.
Oh, it's bad.
So Ripley's like, all right, we need. So Ripley's like, what do we do? Like, what's the plan? And no one's kind of like, she's like, well, we got to get out of here. Like, we'll get on the ship, we'll go back. And she's like, and then you know what we do? We nuke it from space.
Best idea. Honestly, best idea we've heard.
Yeah, and Burke is like, whoa. He's like, this is a lot of money out here.
This thing face fucks us.
Yeah, he's
and then creates a new thing. No.
Oh, no, that's basically, he's like, whoa, I can't authorize. This is a lot of company property. We can't blow this up. And she's like, "What do you mean we can't blow it up?"
No, we're literally like the devil is on the planet.
And she's like, "Listen, since the lieutenant's knocked out, I think it's Corporal Hicks is now. This is a military operation. He's in charge."
Yeah.
And he sits there and he thinks about it for a second. He's like, you know what? We're gonna go to space.
We're gonna
nuke it. And he like looks at her. He's like, I get it.
Yeah.
We're getting out of here. So they call in the ship to pick him up. And when the dropship is coming in, they don't like a pilot runs in and he touches like slime on the ground.
Oh no!
And he's like, hey, there's like, and then the pilot's like, no, come in, we gotta go. Just close the door. We'll go. There's an alien on board.
On the ship already?
On the ship. Well, on the drop ship because they were dropped somewhere else.
Yeah.
An alien had climbed up in it. So while they're coming in to pick them up to take them back to the spaceship that's out up in orbit, alien attacks them. The dropship careens, smashes into the ground, and this is where they like dive. They dive out of the way, and this is where we get the game over, man. It's game over. What are we gonna do? And
at that point, I don't even know what you do.
And poor Hudson, because Hudson is just screaming constantly like, "It's over! We're doomed, Elio! We're doomed!"
Poor Hudson.
And everyone is like, "Hey, man, just like listen, this sucks, but like, calm down."
Yeah.
So they kind of go back to the main building because it's more defendable. The one where Bishop is, and they're talking to the little girl, and the little girl's like, "Oh, it's almost dark." That's when they come out most at night, and she goes, "They mostly come out at night." She has great
good
little kid horror thing. So what they've got, they kind of go over all the guns and stuff they have, and some of the things they have is robot sentries.
Okay.
So they're literally auto turrets that just sense movement and fire. Again, came from here.
So that's a good idea.
So they have 4 of those. So they have a good idea. Is they
we're just gonna post up. We're gonna the guns will keep us safe.
Yeah, no, because they pull up a floor plan and they're like, okay, if we weld this duct shut, they have to come through these corridors.
Mm-hmm.
We'll stick the guns here from this one. They'll make it through this, and then they'll go through another one here. And they're thinking, okay, there's about 156 colonists.
So there's about 156
aliens out here. So they they lay out the floor plan. They put out the sentry guns. So Hicks gives Ripley a locator, like a little wristband locator, and he's like, "Hey, you can, I can track you with this." And then Ripley goes and she's like trying to get Newt to sleep, and they're kind of like connecting because Ripley's.
We both have seen fucked up shit.
Oh no, it is because they have like a conversation.
Yeah.
She's like, your parent, like, I'm so sorry about your mom, because the little girl, like, Newt's asking, like, did one of those grow inside my mom? Like, did it come out? And Ripley's like, you know what? I don't know.
Want me to answer that for you? It's not a good answer.
So, and she's like, do you have a little, like, do you have a daughter? And she's like, well, my daughter is gone too.
Yeah.
Like, parents. So they kind of have like this moment, and then Ripley gives Newt the locator that Hicks gave her. She's like, if you wear this, I can keep, I can keep you safe. And she's like, I'm never gonna leave you. Like, it's gonna be okay. I'm just in the other room.
Yeah.
And they kind of have this conversation with Bishop. Bishop's like, hey, like, what's laying the eggs? We fought, like, obviously there's facehuggers.
Yeah.
There's xenomorphs, but something is...
There's
something. And they kind of talk about it, and they kind of give that, like, maybe it's like ants. Maybe there's like a big queen ant, and they're like, we don't know. Like, they're not ants, man. He's like, yeah, there is.
Not the best ideal situation for...
No, the thing, and she noticed that the facehuggers in the jars are still alive, and she's like, "Why haven't we killed these?" And Bishop's like, "No, I'm under orders that we're bringing these back."
You're like, "Oh,
and she's like, "Who told
fuck you again?
Fuck you again!" And it was Burke. Burke told him to bring him back. So she goes and confronts him, and he's like, "Well, like if we give these to the bioweapons department." And she's like, no. And then she's like, I looked at the message logs. You're the person from the company who contacted the outpost and told them to go search those coordinates for the alien. Because he had listened to her deposition.
And was like, oh, she might be onto something.
She might be onto something. And he realized that because she gave them like where it was about. So he sent them out there. And he didn't tell anyone because he was like, oh, we'll find it. It'll be my find. But he sent them out there. She's like, you killed everybody. And he's like, listen, maybe that was a bad call.
Oops.
Ooh, no, he basically gives him the oops.
Maybe I did that.
And she's like, how are you even going to get these things through, like, security, like the quarantine? Yeah. And he's like, well, if we didn't, tell anybody. And she's like, I will tell on you. Yes.
I don't fucking care.
I don't fucking care. He's like,
I've seen death.
You know, indirectly got all these people killed. And he literally gives it was a bad call.
He's your slimy corporate.
Slimy, oh yeah. So while this is going on, the aliens start coming. And it's just the turn. So they don't show, but they show, like, because they're monitoring the bullet counts. So the first two turrets are just, they hold like 500 rounds each.
And they're just...
They're popping off. They're just going down this tunnel. So you just hear the gunshots going off and they're watching the counters.
Oh, that's a good, like, fuck.
And so they both hit. So it goes 50%, 20%, critical, and then the first one goes off. The second one goes off. But they're still going, and then they go through the doors and they reach the second row. And they're just go, because if they get through that, then
we're fucked.
They're pretty much in. They're going to have to fight them. So they're going, and the second one, the first one runs out of bullets, and it's running down, and then it hits like 10 bullets, but they start retreating, because they're like, because they have like a hive intelligence, so like we can't get through.
We'll go.
And they're like, oh man, we've got like, if they decide to come back this way, we're fucked, because we got 10 bullets left in one of the turrets, but they're like, they don't know that. They're probably
really relying on them not being like, quote unquote, dumb animals.
Right, that they're going to try to find another way in. And Hudson with another great line goes, maybe we demoralized him, man.
Yes. Yes, Hudson.
And so Ripley and Hicks have a conversation where she's like, hey, like if I get caught by one of these things, just kill me.
Yeah, should be killed.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you have to. I think that's the only way you handle it.
Yeah. And he like shows her like, so at this point he's like, hey, like, I'm gonna show you how to use like this gun. I'm gonna show you like, we gotta figure this out, because
we gotta get through this.
So he shows her the whole like how to use the gun, this whole thing, and they're kind of like going off of each other, like, you know, we're getting some trauma bonding. At this point, the lieutenant wakes up and he's like, "Hey, like,
what happened?
I'm sorry, I kind of lost my cool there a little bit," and they're like, "Oh, we can't like do this. This sucks." So Ripley goes and checks on Newt, who is now under the bed because she feels safer in like
cramped quarters.
So Ripley kind of goes under and kind of like cuddles with her under the bed. Well, she wakes up and she realizes, because they're in the medical ward, that the face hugger containers have been knocked over.
Oh, god damn it.
And that they're empty.
Oh, Jesus.
So she looks and she tries to so she inches them towards the door, and the door's been locked. And it's soundproof on the inside.
Of course.
Oh, so they're like waving in front of the camera because you can see them like scuttling, moving around, and they're waving in front of the camera to try to get someone to notice them. But Burke is there, and he turns off the camera. Oh,
because she said that he would tell on it.
Yeah,
it's as far as evil.
It's kind of a good
as corporate minion plans go. It's a good one.
It's a good one. So they're like kind of like fighting them off, and Ripley has a great idea actually. Because she left her gun outside. And she tries to break the glass, but it's like the plexiglass.
Yeah, that like safety glass.
Yeah, so she has, honestly, really good thinking, really smart. She pulls out a lighter and sets off the fire alarm because it sets off, because it draws everyone. Yeah, because they're like, oh, there's something going on. So it draws everyone in. They shoot out they jump in. Oh, there's a great thing because it's got like Ripley by like the throat, and it's trying to get its like thing down her throat, and she's holding it back, and it's like
trying to kill it.
Oh, and and Newt's fighting one off, and they end up shooting him and killing him, and they kind of corner Burke, and Burke is just like sweating bullets, and she's like, "This is how you were going to get through quarantine because you were going to get us impregnated. You were going to put us through. He was going to sabotage the rest of the pods and get everyone killed." And they're like, "Oh, you're like, this is fucked up,
a little bit
fucked up." And to add to the situation, Bishop's like, "I've got some bad news."
Oh no!
Like when we were the explosion and everything at the reactor that happened, the reactor is like leaking. We've probably got about 4 hours before it just naturally explodes. And because they were planning, they knew they had about 17 days before the Marine Corps was like, "Hey, they're missing."
Well, we have to care now.
And now it's at 4 hours.
Okay.
They don't have a ship to get out.
They're fucked.
They're like, what do we do? And they realize, okay, they can remotely control the other dropship that's in the space station, but they would need to get to the the giant satellite that's on the base. And the connecting is broken. They can't get there. You have to go there manually to do it.
Of course.
Bishop's like, hey, like, I don't want to do this, but I'm the only person who can. So they figure out, like, if he crawls through this pipe, he can get out remotely. He's like, it'd take me about 40 minutes to crawl through it.
Okay.
About an hour to, like, hot rod it. 30 minutes to prep it. 90 minutes to come down. We're going to cut it.
Boy, that's a lot of math.
We're going to cut it real fucking close. So they're like, well, it's our only shot. So they cut open the pipe for him to crawl through. And it is very claustrophobic because he is literally just like...
Is this the iconic...
It's one of them. He's like shuffling through.
Because probably spoilers, but like, isn't there an alien? And
that's in the first movie.
Oh,
that's in the first movie. So he's crawling today. Let him go. So like, we just gotta like hold on till then. So they're waiting there, and the aliens start getting closer and closer because they're reading the and they're like getting through the roadblocks that they've done, and they're not sure how. So they keep backing up, and they back up in the room, and it's like 2 meters, 3 meters. And Ripley's like, that's in the room. Where could they be? They're up. They were like in the ceiling. So they weren't like in the ducts, but they were like in the ceiling. And there's this great shot. They're all just like up there. And they start coming down through the top. And then so they're shooting and they're fighting. Hudson is doing this great, son of a bitch, motherfucker, oh, you want some too? He was killing, like, fucking Ramboing the whole thing. And one literally comes up, grabs him, and pulls him down. So Hudson dies there. He kills a bunch of them.
Yeah, but he dies.
Yeah, so they're trying to move back, but Burke does the classic villain thing where he takes out farther than them and locks the door behind him.
Bitch ass.
Oh, yeah, so he's, like, trying to trap them all, and he's just still moving. He plays himself because he locks them, turns around, and there's an alien there, so he gets...
He gets what he deserves.
Yeah, exactly. So Newt is like, no, we can go this way through these ducts because that's where all the kids play. They established and that's where they played, and I can get you to the landing strip where the thing was. So like, are you sure this is like the way to go? She's like, I am.
She's like, do you want to die?
They want to die. So they're following the little girl through the air duct. So it's Vasquez is still there. The lieutenant.
Oh, shout out to Vasquez.
She's still chilling.
In space, you can't kill us.
No, you can't kill. Oh, not for a very long time. So she's like covering the back. She's shooting them. She's just badassing her way through the whole like endeavor. She like her gun runs out. She pulls out a handgun. Yeah. She's holding like her leg gets covered in acid because she holds one down by her foot and shoots it a bunch of times.
Sure.
So she gets stuck there, and the lieutenant is like, "Listen, I'm gonna kind of redeem myself here." He runs back to where she is to try to help her. They get cornered on both sides by the aliens. He pulls out a grenade
and
then they hold it for a second and wait for the aliens to converge on them and blows it up. So now it's just Hicks, Newt, Ripley, and Bishop who's controlling the ship. Mm-hmm. So they finally reach where they're going to go down. There's like a drop, but the explosion from the grenade causes Newt to kind of fall back, and she falls through the hole.
Oh, god damn it!
So her and Hicks are like, "No, we can come get you. Like, just stay there."
Yeah.
So they follow down, and she's fallen into this water underneath the floor grate. So Hicks is trying to like cut through because they have like a welder, so he's trying to cut through the floor grate. And there's this great scene of her just standing there waiting for them to like come get her. And an alien comes out of the water behind her.
Jesus.
Oh, and Ripley's yelling at him to cut faster through that. He's like, I know!
I'm trying!
And by the time he gets it up, she's gone.
Oh, shit.
She's been taken. She's just disappeared. So Ripley starts screaming. He's like dragging her out.
The classic.
Exactly.
They gotta go back.
No, that's exactly. So they pull out. They get out there. And then Bishop is there waiting for them. And she's like, how long we got? He's like 24 minutes. We got plenty of time to get out of here. We're fine. She's like, we're not leaving.
Without the girl.
We're not leaving without the girl. And by the time they get out, because there's a great scene where they're going down the elevator to get there. An alien comes in. They have to shoot it. Hicks gets hit with the acid too. So he's kind of out of commission.
You would think that when they would shoot, like, after some, you like shoot and then I guess like...
Well, no, they did. But the problem is, so he does that, but it still hits and it burns through his body armor. So you can't, because it it's
wear some goggles. I don't know, what a chem class.
Oh, I know. So basically, she makes Bishop fly to the reactor because that's where she knows. She's like, "Don't leave," and she's like, "Hicks, make sure he doesn't leave."
Of course, that's gonna
right.
go swimmingly.
So very iconic scene where she duct tapes a flamethrower to the machine gun. She has 16 minutes to get down there. She's taking the elevator. It's this, it's a very famous.
It's the load. Yeah, we're loading up. This is it.
This is
the final battle.
So they're back in the same location that they started the movie with the Marines. She's walking through with all the people, and she finds the locator, and it's just on the ground. And she's like, "Oh, she's dead." But luckily, so Newt is cocooned to the wall, and she wakes up and she sees an egg open, and she sees it starts to rustle, so she starts screaming. So Ripley just books it, flamethrowers it, pulls Newt off the wall, and she's like, "Just hold on to me. I'm just gonna take you out of here."
Just close your eyes, wait for the devil to be gone, because it's.
So she's carrying Newt, and she realizes she walks, and she looks around, and she realizes she's surrounded by eggs. And this is a good thing to remind everyone that this movie is completely done with practical effects.
Yes.
Oh, so she turns around and she sees this, like, I don't even know how to describe it, like an egg being laid by this big, like, tube.
Oh, yeah.
And she follows it back, and it's the alien queen.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, and it is disgusting.
It's not pretty.
And it breathes like a pug, like it's like.
And then don't they make it's like where the eggs lay? I'm sure there's a word for it. A few entomologists.
We'll call it a sack.
Yeah, and then doesn't it like pulsate? It's like
it pulsates. Oh, it's gross.
And it's not fun.
And it's like, it's huge, and it's up, and it like comes, so it like wakes up, and it like looks at her, and Ripley, really smart here, fires fire over the eggs, and then points it down at the eggs.
Oh.
And the alien, it kind of like looks at her, and it's like,
yeah, like it's okay.
And there were some like the smaller aliens were like walking at her, and the alien queen looks at the smaller drones and has them back off. Ripley's like, okay,
I'll kill everybody.
I've like communicated like you don't want your children, like your
I'll
babies.
Kill everybody in this fucking place. I swear to God.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where we're kind of getting that these, because we've established they are intelligent, so they have like so she's communicated. I will kill. All of your children, essentially.
I'm a donkey on the edge.
So she's backing out very slowly, and right behind her, she hears one of the eggs open, and she like looks back towards the queen and kind of gives it a "fuck you" kind of a look, and just starts spraying. And so the aliens are trying to attack her. She kills them. The alien queen's like screaming. It's ah. She throws her grenades. So she's running. She's trying to get the elevator. There's a great scene. She's trying to get the elevator come down so she can take Newt up. And the alien queen disconnects from the sack.
Ooh,
and like pulls itself off of it and starts like walking.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very cool looking.
Yeah.
So it's like chasing after her now. The elevator comes down just in time. They go up. They open the doors, and the ship is gone.
Oh, of course it is.
And
Bishop.
And this is a big callback to the first movie because it has the same like it's gonna blow up. They have the same voice. And then they notice that the elevator is also coming up. So she's backing up. It's looking like she's like trying to decide: do I just because it's not gonna blow up by the time the alien gets here. So we either jump off the side of this thing and die that way, or we get mauled by this monster.
At best, you get mauled.
So right at the very last second, where it looks like she's about to jump off the rails, the ship shows back up. Bishop opens the door. They come in. When he's trying to like pull the ship out, it kind of gets hit by debris. It knocks into the landing gear. Won't quite come up. Like it's a fight to get out of there.
Yeah.
They get up just in a second. It blows up in a big nuclear explosion. They get back to the ship. Like, oh. So Hicks is there. He is knocked out because Bishop gave him more pain medication. Yeah. He's like, he's gonna be okay. But he's like, I'm sorry if I scared you. Though, like, everything was shaking. It was gonna come down any second. I had to like get off there, and I was circling back, hoping I could pick you up. And they have like this nice moment where she's like, you did good. Yeah. Like it was like this, like you really were like good this whole time. You are a good robot. Yeah, you are a good robot. He's like, thank you.
Android. I'm sorry.
Android, synthetic person. And right when he says that, this tail comes down and impales him.
Oh shit!
Drags him up. The alien queen got on the landing gear. That didn't close. It comes out, grabs him, and rips him in half.
Oh.
And drops him on both sides.
Well, he's okay.
Well, he's a nice man.
Oh.
And it drops down. Oh, and it starts like. So she tells Newt to run, and then Ripley runs, and she gets in this like storage room. She closes the door, and Newt has gone under the floor in the grates. So the alien queen starts pulling up the grates and then trying to grab her because it has all these hands. So it's like grabbing and pulling. Oh, it's a grate, like, as she's screaming. This girl has a great scream.
Oh, she made her money.
And then while it's doing this, the door opens up and Ripley walks out. She's in one of the forklifts, which is another iconic scene. She says, "Get, like, don't you touch her, you bitch!" And she proceeds to start beating on the alien queen with the forklift, and they're like fighting. It's cool.
It's If anybody's never seen, I mean, it's been redone for everything. But it's the scene.
It is
the movie.
And she knocks the alien queen, very similar into this giant airlock. She's like, the forklift falls on top of it, kind of holding it down. She climbs up the scaffolding and hits the button, open it. Everything starts getting sucked into space. The alien reaches up, grabs her foot. Bishop, who's still alive from the top one.
He's an android.
Yeah, he's an android. He grabs the thing holding on. Newt starts slipping. He grabs her, so he's holding on.
Everybody's holding on.
Eventually, her shoe slips off the alien. It falls out into space. It does.
Take her shoes.
Take her shoes.
Take it to space.
Ripley climbs up. Finally closes the airlock.
Oh, fuck.
It closes. We have defeated the alien. She puts Bishop to sleep. She puts Hicks in cryogenic sleep, and she's talking to the little girl. And the little girl's like, "Can we finally have can we?" Because they were both scared to sleep because they would have constant nightmares. She was like, "Can we dream? Are we gonna be okay?" And she's like, "Yes, like we can dream. We're gonna be like, we're okay. We beat it." Okay. And the last shot is them all in cryogenic sleep next to each other. The mother-daughter thing, like she had lost her daughter, they found each other. She kind of went back. She faced her fears.
She did.
She conquered what she was scared of. She's done it. Hicks survives. The android was good the whole time.
Yay.
They get away. It's actually kind of a happy ending.
As happy of a horror story as it could have been.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's a lot about like going back, facing things you're scared of. Yeah. And like Ripley is a great protagonist because she's not instantly good. Like when he shows her how to use guns and then she starts using them, she's inaccurate.
But no, it's like what do you do?
It's what do you do? It's your balls to the wall, and she's just having to go. And then, very good and briefly, I will not do an episode on Alien 3. I do not like Alien 3.
I do not like it, Sam, you are.
They took it away from James Cameron.
Yeah.
James Cameron says Alien 3 is awful.
Yeah.
The actors say it's awful. The person who does the novelization say it's awful. And the director of the movie says, no one hates it more than me.
Wow.
He said he was given it to by the studio, and the studio made a bunch of no, this is what it is. And you can't change it. And because it was a different script, they threw out his script and made him do... So how Alien 3 starts... It invalidates this whole movie.
Really?
There was a facehugger on the ship, and it kills the little girl, and it kills Hicks, and it kills Bishop, and Ripley's the only one who lives.
It walked around and unplugged the
thing. It went into it dug through the glass. Because it acid its way through the glass and got on, it killed everybody.
But I thought once it impregnates one person, it dies.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, that's bad.
It is bad. So, yes. So, literally, this entire movie gets invalidated. And,
what did James Cameron do?
He was pissed. Because he was like, no, you, fucked it up. So, the actor who plays Hicks, because they were only going to put him in one scene in Alien 3 where he dies in the very beginning. And when he found out that he died, he asked for more money for that scene than he got paid for the entirety of Aliens. Because he was so mad, because he was like, this is stupid. But, yeah. So all the growing and all the nice
it's all been undone by corporate greed. Oh
no, exactly. Oh, it is. No, it all gets undone literally because all of Ripley facing her fears and finding this person to the found family thing. It's all gone. The little girl dies. I pretend it doesn't happen. I pretend it ends in Aliens.
Then that's it. Nah.
And they go off and she raises.
No, it's beautiful and magical.
Yeah, because Ripley dies at the end of Alien 3 because she finds out that she was actually impregnated the entire time by the facehugger. And she's carrying an alien queen.
Okay.
And that... Because she crash lands on a prison planet in Alien 3. And finds out that the company's coming to get her because they want the alien queens that's inside of her. And she jumps into a giant vat of lava, like Terminator 2. And then there is Alien Resurrection, which is the fourth movie.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you thought it was bad in Alien 3.
It gets worse.
They cloned her.
Oh, yes, I had the clone.
They cloned her because they cloned that queen inside of her.
Oh, that's okay. That's a stretch.
Because they had her DNA. Because they're like, oh, if we bring her back, then it'll bring the queen.
That's even for sci-fi bullshit.
Oh.
That's.
So they've raised a queen, they've cloned a queen, and they have it on this space station, and she's all weird, and it's got Ron Perlman in it, almost drowning in the fucking water, and it's by Alien Resurrection. It is no longer it is no longer horror. It is just a action.
It's like Underworld or like Blade.
Yeah, at that point, and it's so bad. And then after that, they would do Prometheus, which gave us a bunch of backstory we didn't need. It was very long and confusing. Then there was
Prometheus
2, and then there was another. Then there was
Promethean.
The Promethean. Then there was like Alien.
There was Alien vs Predator movies.
Alien vs Predator movies,
which were fine.
Those are fine.
You just had to accept those in a box. Yeah.
And then there was a different one. There was Alien.
We'll go find out finding the power of the internet. Alien film series. So you have Alien Covenant is the last one. And
Alien Covenant. Yeah.
If anybody is curious about the Alien movies themselves, Netflix has a very wonderful documentary series.
Yeah.
Called Movies We Love, and they talk about the effects and stuff that went into Aliens.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because I think like the queen is like part trash.
Trash bags.
Trash bags and like all this like moving animatronics. It's really fun.
It was really fun.
Check it out if you haven't before. They also do a bunch of other movies like Jurassic Park. Really quick sidebar. So for Jurassic Park, until they built the big T-Rex.
Yeah.
So one day it just turned on.
Oh, that would scare me.
So they were like all kind of like getting ready to like leave, and it just turned on and started moving and like.
Absolutely not.
Oh, everybody was like, was like,
we created the wall, like, life.
Oh shit.
Oh, that would terrify me.
So somebody had to like climb on and like unplug it to turn it off, and then it like stopped moving.
That's an absolute horror story.
But we're gonna die.
But yeah, no, we got Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Alien vs Predator, Aliens vs Predator
Requiem, which is Aliens vs Predator 2. That matters.
Yes. Prometheus, and then Alien Covenant. I think they're making another one.
Probably.
I'll be honest, Alien and Aliens, those are the good movies.
Yes.
Alien vs Predator, Alien vs Predator Requiem, fun movies.
Yes.
After that, I've never seen. Okay, to be fair, I've never seen Alien Covenant.
Okay.
I can't
comment.
I can't comment on it. It's either the first one, the second one combine really well.
Yes.
To make a nice story, and it finishes. It's done, and that's why they were so mad that there was an Alien.
Because it was written to finish.
It was written to finish. That's why James Cameron was like, "This was such like a slap in the face to me." Alien 3, and like you take away that, I don't like Alien. The plot of Alien 3 is not great. Like it's fine.
Oh, here you go. 2024. Oh, Ridley Scott's producing it.
Okay.
August 16th, 2024 is Alien Romulus.
It's kind of a cool name.
Which is a standalone installment.
Okay.
Which I think will be fine. I think you need to do is you need to make the movies.
Yeah.
And then you just make stories
the world
within
in the universe.
Yes.
Which I think is what they were trying to do. And it's also spawned countless books, comic books, fighting games, video games. It's combined with the Predator. Yeah. So it's confirmed that they both happen in the same universe. But no, it's an amazing movie. I think anyone who likes 80s action movies,
go take a gander.
Take a gander. If you like horror movies, go take a gander. If you want really good movies with really good, strong female protagonists, Aliens is always...
She's the bar, really.
Oh, yeah, no. Ellen Ripley is always right up there. She's great for any protagonist, because it's not like a Gary Stu or like a Mary Sue, like...
She's a person thrown into this situation.
She's scared.
What are you gonna do?
It's from Die Hard. McClane. It's like John McClane from Die Hard. He's just a guy. He's a cop. He's trained for like cop situations, but he's just in this like way over his head. He gets the shit kicked out of him.
He's in the ducks.
Yeah, exactly.
Climbing.
So she's a good protagonist, and then she's just like not instantly good at everything, but she's like okay, no, like she's good at what she's smart at, like.
Yeah.
these things. And
she's saying the things we all are like, why are we doing
why
this?
Just nuke them,
Why are we here?
Yeah, Fuck but no, this. It's a great movie, and I'm glad we're finally catching up with sequels that we have promised to cover.
Shit, I know. We'll figure out what the next one is. We do have a surprise for the next episode.
Big surprise.
I mean, spoilers. We are going to be recording with one of our friends who is a vehement
listener.
Strong. Yeah. He's one of our top listeners. But also, I can't believe I said that. It's going to be in this. But also is a big Halo fan. So kicking off the inspiration of Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
We're going to have the sci-fi... We're going to talk about Halo and kind of where that trilogy has gone and...
Oh, I will definitely
how they botched some of it.
This game from Aliens!
So we're going to be doing that with him. Thank you everybody for listening. Our first video is out now. If you haven't, the Iron Widow.
Very good.
It is very fun if you like mecha and anime and Chinese mythology. Go check that out. This one will be out Thursday. If you're not listening to, if you're listening to it, it'll be Wednesday. If you're gonna watch us in our faces, it'll be on Thursday. And then just to prime everybody, we do have the Anime Awards coming out soon. We are going to be doing our kind of reactions and our thoughts and how we feel. So we are going to be doing some studying. We are going to have another one of our friends on who is we'll talk about that another time. But then we will have another friend on for that and continue on and keep rolling on. Actually, our next episode will be our 50th episode.
Oh yeah!
So what better way to do it than with our number one listener?
Number one listener. You still have to listen to it, even though you're in the episode. So
David, you still have to tell us. But thank you, everybody. Again, we are on all social medias. We are on Facebook, Lori Time Podcast. We are on Instagram at Lori Time Pod, Twitter, Lori Time Pod as well, and Goodreads. Goodreads. Good Pods.
Good Pods. The Goodreads of podcasts.
Yes, we're not sponsored by them, but we're on there, and it's fun and it's nice. And come hear our thoughts and how I'm gonna. And all of our Pokemon stuff. In fact, part of this, what I'll do is I'll give an update. If anybody doesn't know, I am doing a personal journey, which is to get all the full art Pokemon trainer cards. So I will update, I guess, every week how many more I need.
Hell yeah!
And I'll put a little ticker up on here, and then the doobly-doo thing down below. But please don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button.
Smash it. And turn on the little bell.
Yeah, turn the little bell for notifications. We watch a lot of WatchMojo.
Oh yeah.
But thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and remember, check under the bed for the Xenomorphs.
Oh, it's probably too late.
Believe like Newt did. Good night, everybody.